Hello everyone, Muckluck Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and in this video we are going to show the differences between challenge mode raids and normal ones. Each boss will have a timestamp, so if you need to revisit this information in the future for a quick refresher, or if you need to link it to the corpses in your raid, you will be able to easily. Not every raid boss has a challenge mode, so I'll be going over the ones that do. Every challenge mode boss is activated by interacting with the challenge mote. The boss will have more damage, more life, and give credit for the weekly challenge mode's achievement, and the first time only that you kill each boss on challenge mode, you will get a chest with a lot of gold worth of stuff in it and a choice of an ascended item unique to that boss. If you need the links to the boss's normal mode mechanics, I'll have a link to the Get to the Point raid guides in the description. Now for the challenge mode mechanics. Here we muck and go. Wing 3, Keep Construct. The room is slightly smaller due to a pain patch along the outside. Seriously, that's it. This one's pretty easy. Wing 4, Cairn. If you don't use your special action key to Dhuum at least once every 10 seconds, it will fire on its own, yeeting you forward against your will. If you reach 99 stacks of the debuff that builds on you when you move or are hit by dodgeable mechanics, you will become petrified and lose access to all of your skills. Because of this, it is important to stand in greens. Don't just ignore them and use stability like you may have been doing on the normal mode. Mursaat Overseer. Certain floor tiles will light up blue. If you don't stand in them within 4 seconds, you die. Blue tiles will look different for each player, so you aren't always running to the same tiles your friends are. The protect mechanic on this fight will not save you versus not standing in a blue. However, if you get blue and spikes at the same time, you can slap protect down in the middle of the room and get some protect coverage on all 4 adjacent tiles, allowing everyone to stand in a blue even if it is also in spikes. There will always be a blue tile on one of the 4 interior tiles for every pattern. Samarog. The donut, aka friends mechanic, will be in play from the start of the fight. The person who gets the big circle is immobilized. That means the small circle has to run to them and everyone else has to get out of the big circle. Because the big circle person is immobile, give them stability to counter the boss knocking them around the room. A new spear will be left behind after the friends mechanic concludes. Her other spears will no longer be random and will follow a set pattern. Also, you cannot kill the spears now. There are many routes you can use for this. We found it easiest to move around the outside wall and start at the northwest corner of the room. Then move counterclockwise around the room each time there were dropped spears. She will vacuum the spears in often due to the much higher number of them in the room. Deimos. Saul is no longer involved in the fight and will not help, which leads to the following. Saul will not be making a bubble in the middle of the room to protect you from the big booms. This means you need blocks, Aegis, or some other means of dealing with that mechanic. Saul cannot be healed, so you cannot simply let him get hit and then heal him back up. You must make sure that too many prides and greeds do not reach him and kill him. Saul will not be casting his debuff on Deimos, which increases the damage Deimos takes, so your raid damage output will be lower than it normally is. Because Saul is vulnerable in the middle of the room, do not drop oils or any other nasty mechanics near him. Wing 5, Soulless Horror. The debuffs on the tank will build up faster, which forces the tanks to take more damage. The flesh worms will respawn throughout the fight. We handled this by slowly moving around the platform with the boss so that we cleaved the worms down while hitting the boss. Finally, the platform will lose an additional ring at the start of the fight, making the fighting arena smaller than it normally is. Dhuum. Heals on the Reapers will no longer be insanely boosted, they will be normal size. A small Dhuum-shaped linebacker called Ender's Echo will constantly charge around the arena. If it hits you, it will pick you up and carry you off, damaging you the entire time unless someone CCs the Echo. You skip downstate if the Echo gets you to 0. This is deceptively simple. Do all the normal stuff while constantly being aware of that thing's location and staying out of its way. After you master this, you will then need to attempt the boss 47 more times for your teammates to stop getting picked up. Wing 6, Conjured Amalgamate. On normal mode, you had 10 seconds to DPS the arms when they were vulnerable. On challenge mode, you have 8. Each time the arms slam, 3 adds of swords or shields will spawn immediately, so there will be more total adds to cleave down. 4 staves of light will spawn outside the arena after the first burn phase ends and reappear roughly every 30 seconds. When they spawn, a random player gets a locked on effect, and all the staves cast laser on you. The shots can be body blocked by enemy adds or friendly players or by normal blocks. We handled this with Revenant Ventari bubbles. If a laser gets you to 0, you skip downstate. Twin Largos. Every 20% health, the Largos will gain a large barrier and cast Kill Everyone on my platform. Similar to Gorseval, you need to jump off, wait for the boom, then come back. Though every challenge mode boss has more health and damage, you will notice this much more on Largos, as they have a much more challenging enrage timer. All your DPS will have to pull their weight. Qadim. There will be a large fireball that bounces around the platforms. It is instant downstate, or if you are already down, it is instant defeat. It can be blocked or dodged, or you can just step out of the AoE marker. It will not show up during DPS phases, the jumping puzzle phases, or inside the lamp. If you fall off the platform, it will mean instant defeat. During DPS phases, Qadim gets a Defiance bar after every shockwave instead of every other shockwave, making it more important to have killed the pyre that gives him stability. All expanding AoE platforms are destroyed instead of just covered in lava. This is also true when Qadim moves to the next platform or after destroying a Pyre Guardian. When either of those happens, be sure to quickly move to the new area to avoid falling. Pyre Guardians now do AoE burning conditions. Enemies in the lamp have more stacks of Fiery Surge, which means they will do more damage. Wing 7. Cardinal Adina. If you fall into the sand, it will instantly kill you. There's no bouncing back out. The Pocket Sand Beam now has 3 lasers up from 2. Rock projectiles now come in sets of 3 waves up from 2, so there will be more rock bullets. Pillars now leave behind a hole after they are destroyed, so you will slowly be losing terrain, which is then reset each time the arena changes. A common mistake players make is to run straight forward after the original pillars are destroyed, right into the holes and die. Cardinal Sabir. The attack that looked like 3 lasers is now 5 lasers. The coordinated CC bar is now larger, so it is even more important to all CC that one at the same time. If you go downstate, you will get a debuff, making it very hard to res you for 5 seconds. Occasionally, adds called Paralyzing Wisps will spawn on the big platforms. And finally, Qadim the Peerless. 3 massive twisters will spawn on the edges of the room and circle the arena. Touching these results in death, but it isn't hard to avoid them. Qadim's Reign of Chaos attack will now cause players hit by the attack to leave small lava patches on the ground that never go away. Do everything you can to avoid getting hit by this. Dodges and blocks do work. The small patches do just as much damage as the large lava patches, and it is very important for that player to try their best to get away from the group and drop those patches out of the way if they should start to drop them. After Qadim kills the pylons at 40, 30, and 20% health respectively, a blue safety circle will spawn at the south end of the arena. Players need to be in the circle to survive a large explosion that will occur a few moments later. I recommend using stability here to make sure the pylon explosion doesn't push you out of the safety circle. After this attack finishes, one player is lifted up into the air and unable to move or attack. The other players must collect 5 golden orbs, which spawn randomly near the boss. After picking up the 5th orb, the player in the air will get a special action key that, when pressed, will stop the boss from wiping the raid with another big boom spell. I advise you to not pick up the 5th orb until after the knockback has occurred, or it can bug the person in the air and lead to a wipe. And that is every CM that exists at the time of this video's creation. I hope this helps some of your groups prepare for the fights ahead, or is able to give you a quick refresher if it's been a while and you're going in there revisiting past mechanics. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like to help us out with the YouTube algorithm, leave a comment if you know any tips or tricks about this topic that I missed, and subscribe for more similar content. More information and guides can be found on mucklucklabs.com, and you can ask me questions live every night on Twitch. Special thanks to our dear patrons and Twitch subscribers who keep this channel alive. Links to both in the description below if you wish to help support. Happy raiding.